So, today is Thursday, February 12th. It's about 9 p.m. We're going to go through this past week's recap. Um, to start reading, I'm on a page about like 180 of like 240 on The Sun Also Rises by Hemingway. I think for most part of the book, I've kind of been debating. Like I'm sorry, like, am I kind of missing something about like there's like maybe like a bigger point because I understand that this is like a great author. Um, and as of right now, I kind of don't really care what I'm supposed to think about it. Um, but obviously, it is. It's kind of hard. I'm not. I don't exist in a vacuum. I obviously am examining it, knowing that I'm supposed to think something. But one of the things that's really jumping out to me is the way men behave within it. I'm at a point in the story where there's a clear set of characters. There's a clear sort of narrative, like right, kind of like the meat of it, and whether intentional or not, the thing that jumps out to me is the behavior and of the men in it. Um, and interestingly, the two men that stand out to me as having the best display of a more positive form of masculinity would be Jake, the narrator, who's kind of like he's like he's an observer. It's sort of like he's taking the third person omniscient like viewpoint on the story, but he's like a part of the conversation at the same time. Um, but what I mean by that is he's sort of just like he's describing what's going on and his conversation, uh, which in my opinion, I don't know, the way thoughts are functioning from him don't really feel like internal dialogue. It feels like description, which to me leans more towards someone just telling you what's going on rather than someone telling you how they feel about it. Um, I guess his words don't feel very poetic to me and romantic. It's not a romantic account, um, which is interesting. And then I think the other man that's I guess there are multiple men that are standing out in the story, and Brett's kind of like an icon. She's like kind of she's like the lady that's kind of at the center of the story, and like four men are in love with her, um, but she's now in love with this like 19-year-old bullfighter who's just apparently he's just gorgeous and like iconic at what he does. They just ran off together. Spoilers. And I just finished the chapter right when Jake gets back to the table and the two of them are not there anymore. So it's like, oh my god. Um, but outside of that, the character of Khan uh, and the character of Mike. Mike is Brett's fiance, and Khan is like a I don't know. I wouldn't say best friend of Jake, but the story actually starts talking about Khan. Um, they're just kind of like their behavior is just it strikes me as is interestingly immature, but I don't know if immature is exactly the word that I want to get to the point of what their behavior is. It seems like it's looping. They've had 3 or 4 conversations now in the same conversation, and the language that they have is Mike is upset. They're all drunk. They're always drunk. And Mike is upset that Khan is in love with Brett and is kind of lingering around. And the conversation is always like, Khan, why don't you go? No one wants you. No one wants you here. Like, leave. And then it's just like, I don't know. it just to me doesn't seem like the way to handle that situation, and also it's obviously not the way to handle the situation because it's still going on. So that's just kind of embarrassing. Um, ta-da. Moving on, eating. I guess I'll talk about tonight's dinner. I went and got dinner with my dad and sister. Met up at an Italian spot in Little Italy. Um, it's like right around Grand Street. Um, on the stop on the D. Um, the B, not the D. Maybe the D does stop there. Um, but it was tasty. It was nice. I like getting Italian food. It was not the highest quality Italian meal I've ever had, but I enjoyed myself. I had 2 glasses of wine. I went for a Chianti, which I've been ordering lately. I'm enjoying it. I don't really know what I'm looking for, but the wine's tasty to me. That's all that matters. And it was a cheaper glass. We kind of did like a little family style thing, sort of just sharing our plates. And at the end, I got an affogato, which avocados and carbonaras are. When I was like 14, we went to Italy as a family, and I ordered carbonara basically for every single meal, trying to like. I like carbonara. I love carbonara. Um, I just like ordered at every meal, trying to like. I'm like, what is the best one? I don't even like. I don't know why that was the plot, but that was what was happening. Um, and it was tasty. So it was nice to have carbonara, and it was nice to have an avocado again. I haven't had one in a long time, and I love avocados. Um, so that was lovely. Considering this past week, I've been watching a lot of videos and discussions on like self worth and uh, on shadow work, which I don't feel like I've ever really actually been good at doing shadow work, nor did I really understand how to like actually really do it. It seems like a lot of people have very deliberate means of doing it. And I had therapy today, which is a great day to talk about this. Um, and um, yeah, I I think I'm starting to define the boundaries of what my shadow is that I would like to work on, or come to accept. I guess not work on, but come to accept and own up to. Um, but interestingly, 2 points from I guess these videos and my discussion in therapy that stand out to me, and we have my journal here, which I've had since 2021. It is 2026. I don't like writing. I like talking. Um, Writing's a little too slow for what I want to say. I want to like, blah, 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 like just blurt it out, right, and then like kind of like start to tweak it from there. Um, Hence these videos. So in the video on the shadow, the point is made from the philosopher Carl Jung. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. Uh, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. In therapy, I was talking about how I feel like I am in my own way. Um, like the person who holds me back is me. Um, and there was also the analogy in the video that was talked about how the shadow, like holding back and not doing shadow work, is often like taking a beach ball and pushing it underwater, and then when you push it so hard, it'll burst right back out, right? Um, so I don't know. I think I'm a little raw on really trying to discuss where I'm at in thinking about this. Sort of like literally the past couple days have been very deliberate thinking on this, and today, a couple hours ago, had a very good discussion about it. But Carl Jung quote I'm gonna kind of ride with until I feel like I've really sussed out the boundaries of where I I guess like what is the unconscious of this of my shadow that I'm trying to figure out. But a quote, not a quote, a point that my therapist made. Love my therapist. Um, we were kind of going up and talking about my shadow, blah blah blah. Line came out from it that was perfection masks insecurity, which I'm an insecure person. I know that. Um, but I'm also like a perfectionist, and his point was that perfectionism masks insecurity. Um, which I said to my sister at dinner, and she's like, I don't know if that's true, but I liked the line, um, and I think it does get to the point of like what is the function of perfectionism. Um, there's a lot of a lack of acceptance of anything but perfect, which we are deeply flawed people. All of us, we're horribly flawed, perfectly flawed. Um, but I know that my perfectionism also, especially on the presentation of self, I feel definitely comes from a place of insecurity, um, where like I to the point where if someone provides a very direct and exceptional compliment to me, I have a very hard time swallowing it. Um, so it's something that I would like to work on. Arting. This one, I didn't get a ton done the past couple of weeks, but I also realized that I forgot to point out a painting that I started working on the other week. But I did this drawing of my friend Tristan after my video from last week. Um, just fun, nice. Then I did these two drawings. Then I did some other ones in the sketchbook. This is me. Uh, Here's the flower that I was working on the other week. But I'm gonna flush out more of that flower. It's this thing here. Gotta flush out more of that painting. And that's kind of the plan this weekend. It's Valentine's Day. I'm very single. I don't know. Like, leave me alone unless you are deeply curious about me as a person. Uh, so I have time to work on this. Playing a lot of Minecraft. My best friend and I, when I was visiting, we started playing Minecraft again. It's been nice. Um, just we're really down. We're like a machine. We just kind of know how to really get our system started. But we're kind of at a point where I'm like, oh fuck, I need to build the storage house out more. Um, and I tapped back into Arc Raiders for like 30 minutes the other night. And just kind of didn't really have the drive for it. But we'll see if I get the drive for it next couple days. Um, but yeah, so that is this week. Excited for the rest of this weekend, and I will save my discussion of those things for next week. Have a good night.